You see, I'm actually kind of inquisitive about the current state we are in Africa. We are just basically importing everything importable. Take for instance, in this room I'm standing, or with me as it is, if I should show you a couple of things I'm having and tell you which of them is actually made in Africa, for you to understand the extent at which we have gone in kind of derailing if we are not careful about how we handle our importation. This I'm holding is actually made in China. This keyboard made in China. The mic I'm holding to speak to you guys is actually made in Australia. Made in Australia. The phone I'm holding, as you have known, this is actually made in China. And a couple of other things like that, if you look at them, you will discover that they are either made in China, made in the US, or made in India. So why is it that most of the things that we do use that our life depends on are actually not made within the country or within Africa in general? Because we have no, we have just very, very few manufacturing, many, very, very few things going on in Africa. Most of the things that we do depend our lives on are basically imported. As you can see, we have China, which is the major exporter of items. We have the US, we have India, and this is we Africans here. So we it's kind of dangerous because what we are doing is actually very, very wrong. If user A needs an item, user A goes directly by themselves, just go directly and order. So the internet was actually meant to help, was actually facilitating this sort of dependency on importation or dependency on making. Take for instance, you want to get a new piece of a new piece of probably a new pen or any other thing basically. Or let's just take for instance, you want to get a new phone. So you just go on the internet, then you just place an order for the phone. Or you needed probably a new item. It could be a toothbrush holder, it could be anything whatsoever, even up to the smallest thing, probably a wristband, different things like that. So just go straight to the website of those that manufacture that or those that sell it online, then you just place an order for it. And what that ends up doing is it actually places an order to this set of countries I've listed. So then what you end up doing is, since you are trying to order that for only yourself, there is no way you would get that item through the shipping route, which is a little bit cheaper. So the fastest route that your order is going to go through is to go through the air route. So it has to go through the air for you to get it faster. But if it has to go through the shipping route, you can get it in months, which as a user, as a consumer, you don't want to kind of wait that long. So user A is, and for you to move items on the air, you pay more charges because you get it faster than going through the sea. So user A goes through the air, user B, user C, D, and so on and so forth. So if you should kind of just take a quota, like try to calculate the numbers of importation that individual users like you and I put through to those foreign countries on daily basis, it is actually enormous. So, and it is not as if we are not working. Africans, we have been working really, really hard, even over ages. But most of our handwork are kind of being used to build other countries, to build other foreign countries. Through the process of exporting raw materials, exporting raw materials that would now be later used to produce finished goods that we needed. So we have the raw materials, then instead of us to find a way to produce within, we export that same raw materials outside for it to be processed and for us to not get back that finished item. So we export it at a very cheap price. Then we now start buying these things individually. Like individually, you bought yours, I bought mine, he bought his, and so on and so forth. And every one of us paying shipping fee, paying different fees just to get it, or even paying an undiscounted amount of money in order to get that item that we produced the raw material, just because we are ordering in units, something that we actually produced from within. Take for instance, our farmers, they produce cocoa, like lots of cocoa in Africa. We export it out there just for us to get a costly Bonvita and the likes. So, what should we be doing? We are not saying importation is bad, but because no country is going to rely on itself to feed itself, to just do everything by themselves. Although it is possible, but it can be a little bit difficult to achieve and it takes time. And it's not something that every country would want to go through unless you are being sanctioned or unless you are being forced to do that. But importation can be done in a very, very wiser way than we are doing at the moment. So currently, we export all of our raw materials to be used in producing the flashy finished product that we love to have on our table as Africans. So, okay, instead of us going through this particular approach of user ABC, everybody just going individually, paying different fees, and you would now take a note that even nowadays, if you order certain items, you kind of see that okay, it's actually free delivery, free delivery. How is this done? How is this kind of free delivery entrapment done? How is it being achieved? It is done because the on average, we have several thousands of people trying to order the same thing you are ordering in your location. The algorithm has already kind of gotten to understand this. So it is now easy for the algorithm to now just give you free delivery because others are just ordering items fragmentedly. So that way, for them to just pack that your simple item to join their own item and ship it down is kind of not costing anything anymore because most of the items that we do use here are imported and everybody is importing every day. So that way, if today you are being offered free delivery and tomorrow you are asked to pay, so that way it's kind of just going hand in hand, trying to make you dependent on importation. Basically, that is just it. And at times, what that free delivery entails is the shipping fee would have been added into the product fee for you to just pay with the mentality of oh I'm paying free. So that particular topic is for another day. But for today, let's continue on what we started with. So what should we be doing? We should try to order machines. We should try to order tools that would allow us to use that raw materials that we have to finish it up into something that we can use ourselves. And once we are able to kind of use it to satisfy ourselves, we can now start seeing how we can export the finished products to other countries as well so that they too can benefit from what we are producing. That way, we are not totally dependent on what they are producing.